are the data mining centers being built for China? So writing out some notes here, just some different thoughts on these data mining centers. I'm going to share them here. I'm going to call them, instead of data mining center, I'll just say DMC. Okay, just to clarify there. Point number one, DMCs damage the environment. And of course, where are the environmentalist groups? Interesting, they're not really present. When the DMCs are built, they're very bad for the environment. Okay, they drain aquifers. Point number two, DMC's electrical frequencies and noise are harmful to people, and I'm sure to animals as well, birds and everything else. Very bad for the environment. DMCs will destroy American jobs, another point against them. America already gave most of our industry to Communist China over the last several decades. Most of our big factories have been shipped to China. So it would be natural to think that maybe China is going to take over here in this country, that we're being built up to be given to China. And I'm going to show you the proof here in just a minute with the videos that I'm going to be showing you online. Point number 6, China has been allowed to buy American farmland. If we're at war with this communist superpower China, why are we allowing them to come in here and buy farmland? Doesn't seem really like a smart thing to do. I mean, if you go back to World War II, would we allow Nazi Germany to buy land here in America? Would the leader of, FDR back at the time, would he go and meet with Hitler and have good times and go around shaking hands and everything like Trump's doing with Xi Jinping? I don't think so. Then point number 7, Chinese drug operations are happening here in Maine. You can check into that. They are. Very strange. The Maine Wire, I think it is, or something, they've put out numerous videos on that, showing Chinese drug operations. And Janet Mills, the governor here in the state of Maine, she just looks the other way. Just kind of, laughs about it and everything. Pretty bad. They're growing very toxic drugs as well. Point number 8, Chinese control of American factories. Again, we have the Nine Dragons, I think, pulp mill or something here in Maine. And there's, factories in America that are run by Chinese nationals. That's kind of an issue. They're slowly, incrementally getting Americans used to the thing of Chinese, communist Chinese, coming here to America to have farmland and, factories and things like that. Build the data centers for them and just, okay, here, have the Chinese run them. That'd be a problem. Point number 9, if DMCs were being built for American strength, they would not be harming Americans. Again, that's not the way you run a country. If you are trying to build up your country, you want to have morale be very good. You don't want the people to be against what you're doing. So you'll do things that show concern for the American people. And Trump doesn't care at all about the American people. I'm not going to play the video, but you can see the video of him. What do you think about American finances? And I don't really think about that at all. He doesn't care. He's a multi-billionaire. He doesn't care about you and me and the struggles that we have financially. A lot of people are going homeless because of what he's doing with his wars and a lot of other things too, these data mining centers. Point number 10, AI flock cameras are not stopping crime. They are being used against law-abiding people. Should every American have an appointed Leo living with them to make sure they obey all laws? You say, well, why would you want a police officer in your home all the time making sure you obey all laws? That's not any way to live in freedom. I mean, innocent until proven guilty. Did you ever hear of that? Yeah. Well, why then should we be watched by cameras? Oh, the law enforcement, we're trying to keep you safer by watching you all the time when you're driving and recording you. And again, it's data mining. There are the big tech companies, they pay for that. It's part of the way that they make their living. Instead of advertising and things like this, they still can advertise, but they're targeting advertisements to people. That's why they pay for this data. And that's data mining centers, and you're the product. You are the raw resource, so to speak. You and I are the raw resources that these data mining centers are going to be going after. Doesn't sound like freedom to me. Point number 11. DMCs are costing Americans taxes. Yeah, we're having to pay for our own destruction, for our own, to be spied on. So they're stealing, information, treating us all like we're criminals, and then making us pay for it with taxes. We need to rebel against that. We need to fight against it. Number 12, our power grid cannot handle DMC needs. They don't even have all these things up and running yet, but when they do, it's going to make blackouts for us to make sure that they're able to, come and steal our data and things like this and record everything we're doing. That's not going to happen. We can't let that happen. Point number 13, Trump is bringing 500,000 Chinese students to America. Have you heard about that? It's true. He defends it. We need to get these students over here, and things. Why? Is it to take over? Is he selling America? I think he is. Or at least he's trying to. Point number 14, DMCs are part of Agenda 2030. And they certainly are part of the whole Agenda 2030 thing. And the World Economic Forum, you'll own nothing and be happy and all that other stuff. So, bad situation. But now let me show you the proof why I believe that he is selling America to China. Or rather, building the data mining centers here so that China can take over. Say it that way. All right? Let's listen to some key things from this CBS News report here. Let's play this.
President Trump traveled to Beijing for a summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping during a crucial moment of his second term in the White House. The historic gathering comes as the Iran war continues to impact global oil supplies and the transit of goods through the Strait of Hormuz. But top of mind for President Xi, Taiwan. I'm Olivia Gazis for CBS News, and these are the top 5 highlights from President Trump's trip to China. President Trump arrived in Beijing to a welcome ceremony with pomp and pageantry.
Kind of a weird way to act if we're at war with China.
On Thursday, before a closed-door session, President Trump praised President Xi and touted the tech leaders who accompanied him to China.
Why would the tech leaders, these different guys here, why would they go to China? To make a deal? Does that have to do with the data mining centers? I think so. Especially because a lot of these different guys here are building the data mining centers. Very interesting, isn't it?
Encourage new partnerships between the two world superpowers.
I just want to say on behalf of all of the great delegation that we have the greatest businessmen, the biggest, and I guess the best in the world. We have amazing people, and they're all with me. Every single one of them, we asked the top 30 in the world, every single one of them said yes. And I didn't want the second or the third in the company. I wanted only the top. And they're here today to pay respects to you and to China. And they look forward to trade and doing business. And
looking forward to trade and doing business with their data mining centers? Yeah. I mean, this is serious stuff. I was writing out these notes and I thought to myself, it almost seems like we'd be given the data mining centers once they're built. It would be like we'd be ready to be just given to China. And then I thought, I wonder what Trump's, I saw something, I guess, in the news or related news, something about Trump's visit to China. And I thought, really? I wonder what's going on. Pretty crazy. I checked into it. It's mind-blowing stuff. Let's continue here. Looking forward to doing business with China. These different people that are building the data mining centers.
it's going to be totally reciprocal on our behalf.
Then a high-stakes close.
It's going to be totally reciprocal on our behalf. We'll build the data mining centers and then you get to run them, China. But now listen to what she says here. Okay, listen to this. I'll back it up just a little bit.
Reciprocal on our behalf.
Then a high-stakes closed-door meeting that lasted over 2 hours.
High-stakes closed-door meeting that lasted over 2 hours. What did they talk about? Our public servant here isn't about to tell us. I wonder why.
According to Chinese state media, Xi issued a stern warning about Taiwan, saying potential clashes and even conflicts could happen if the issue isn't handled properly. The White House called the meeting good. Here's more from CBS News' Weijia Jiang and Tony Dokoupil.
We should be partners, not rivals.
There you go. We should be partners, not rivals. And yet you have Kevin O'Leary coming on Tucker Carlson's show, and it's all about, we have to fight China. We have to fight China. China's going to get ahead of us and everything. And if we don't have data mining centers, we won't be able to defeat China. Xi Jinping and Trump sitting there, right there saying, we should be partners, not rivals. How do you partner with a communist country? Now look at what he says here. This is on Air Force One. I'll put up the thing down there at the bottom, closed caption thing. I'll put that up at the bottom so you can hear what he says. This guy right here, this reporter right here, he asks him a question. Listen to what he says.
But it did come up, and I think something could happen on that.
Okay. And then on artificial intelligence,
have quite a bit higher level, but the H200 it's a great chip.
And then on artificial intelligence, what is
on artificial intelligence?
it that you want to get done? Did you bring up?
We did. We talked. We're leading by a lot, but they're second, and they're very strong. And we talked about possibly working together for guardrails.
Going to work together with China in artificial intelligence.
What kind of guardrails? The standard guardrails that we talk about all the time. AI is fantastic. So many things can happen.
AI is fantastic. Really? I don't think it is.
In terms of health, and medicine, and operations, everything. Military, and so many things can happen, but...
Notice he says here, the military. AI is good with the military. It's Project Maven, which I did a video about that. Continue listening to what he says here a little bit.
It's also got some drawbacks, and we're talking about, we're going to work together. We had a very good conversation about a lot of stuff.
So, biological, nuclear, cyber, did you specifically discuss those risks?
We discussed, I would say, almost everything you could discuss except for a reduction of tariffs.
On Iran,
so then they go off on Iran. But the whole thing is, we're talking about the military applications of AI and things. Well, that's kind of telling because it just so happens that Trump just bought a whole bunch of stock in Palantir. Palantir that created Project Maven, the military's application of artificial intelligence to absorb data mining centers, and then to use that to target certain individuals, like they did in Gaza with Lavender and Where's Daddy and the Gospel systems over there, and the horrible death that was caused in Israel. So we'll work with China to build our data mining center empire here that's going to be bigger than China, and it's just going to be all peaceful things. It won't be used against the American people. Right. Listen to this.
An absolutely stunning revelation of just how many stock trades Trump has made while serving as president of the United States. Let's put this up on the screen. Trump discloses hundreds of millions of dollars in trades in the first quarter of 2026. Do you see that chart? This is really important because he has gone from, this was never ideal, the number of stock trades that are being made. But here in 2026, when we have all these concerns and obvious breadcrumbs pointing towards insider trading, that his portfolio has been insanely active. Just look at the weekly number of transactions there. So I'll read you a little bit of this article from the Financial Times. They say financial disclosures for U.S. President Donald Trump showed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of transactions involving securities in major American companies. Oh, which companies, you might ask? Including NVIDIA, Palantir, Paramount, Boeing, just in the first 3 months of 2026. They also show transactions involving Tesla, Apple, Meta, Visa, Citi, Qualcomm, and GE Aerospace. Top executives of all those companies accompanied the U.S. president on his trip to Beijing this week to meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Trump wrote on Truth Social, it was an honor to have the business leaders on the trip, including the great Jensen Huang, a reference to the chief executive of semiconductor giant NVIDIA. The filings show 15 transactions relating to that chip maker in the first 3 months of the year. Quote, I will be asking President Xi, a leader of extraordinary distinction, to open up China so these brilliant people can work their magic, the president wrote on his social media site on Wednesday, referring to the U.S. company executives. The number of transactions disclosed on Thursday far exceeds Trump's trading activity during the first year of his second term. It also marks the first major sale of assets since returning to office. Let's put the next element up on the screen here, just so you can see. This is from our old friend Unusual Whales over on Twitter. They write, breaking, Trump purchased up to $630,000 worth of Palantir stock during the first 3 months of the year. In March alone, Trump made at least 7 purchases of Palantir, totaling as much as $530,000. A month later, Trump literally wrote on Truth Social, quote, Palantir Technologies has proven to have great warfighting capabilities and equipment.
Isn't that nice? $630,000 worth of Palantir? What's he planning? Insider trading? What does he think is coming? Very interesting. I'll show you this video here. One I did on the thing of Lieutenant General Jack Shanahan. Right here, the guy who was in charge of Project Maven. And he's being interviewed here, and he's talking about that it's connected to the Lavender in Israel, and how that it was used to great effect over there, and things that they could target individuals with this whole system, and surgical strikes with missiles and drones and whatever else to eliminate the bad guys. And that's what the military has been building with Palantir. Why would Trump invest in that? Unless he's planning to kill off a lot of Americans and he wants to profit from it. Very interesting. And then to show this thing here, this thing of BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. Listen to what he says here, if you haven't seen this clip already.
But now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security. And the need for rebuilding the GCC region, to rebuild it so that it's going to be in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by drone warfare. So many more things are going to have to be underground. But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments? We have to relook at everything because of the role of drone warfare. Right now we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone? So all of these things are actually opportunities, not problems. It's going to require, as we said, trillions of dollars of capital. Governments cannot build these out alone. They don't have the wherewithal. And two, their deficits are started to be mounting. And we spend too little time talking about the U.S. deficits and other countries' deficits. So this is going to all be the role of private.
Okay, so he's worried that $50 to $75 billion data mining centers could be taken out with $3,000 drones. Now, why would American citizens design drones, build the drones, first-person view drones, FPV drones that have the different types of explosive devices on them? Why would Americans do that? Unless they're being killed by weapon systems coming as a result of those data mining centers. See, they're already saying, this devil right here, this wicked man, is already saying what they're expecting. This guy right here. We have to kind of war game this thing a little bit, and yeah, Trump's purchasing stock in Palantir, and Palantir's helped us to build Project Maven, and the data mining centers, they're going to be good. They're everything's fine, but then you might have people trying to attack them because of what they've done to people. And so, pretty horrible. Very horrible. And here's a famous story. You say, well, no, the data mining centers are good. AI is good. We need AI. Well, what about this story here of this guy, Jason Killinger, here, who was went to a casino, and the casino falsely thought that this Michael over here was a criminal. He was not supposed to come to the casino. I guess he had some kind of police record. Jason Killinger was a construction guy, I think, if I remember correctly. And the AI saw the pictures there, the two pictures, and said, it's the same guy. And they came and they arrested this guy, Jason Killinger, and they put him in handcuffs and the whole thing, and he says, here's my ID. And the police officer did not believe his ID because AI said it's the criminal guy. And we want this system expanded? Really? The time has come to fight. Well, I've got my job and I've got this vehicle I want to get, and I have plans for vacation and whatever. We have to fight. And I'm going to give you a couple of solutions. Number one, Americans must demand the closure of all DMCs. Every single one of them. No DMCs in this country. We have to fight this. Whatever you have to do, legally, we need to pray about it as Christians. There are different people that are coming up with some really good solutions. Now is the time to fight it. Don't wait until these things are designed and there's Chinese running them, Chinese nationals running them, and they're drone striking people that don't go along with the system or something like this. I mean, do we really want to create communist China here in America? If they are our enemy, then we need to demand that all of their land is confiscated. That there should be no Chinese nationals in this country. There should be no Chinese drug operations in the state of Maine or any other state for that matter. I mean, go back to World War II. Again, just go back to that. Just common sense here, people. What would you think if during World War II there were Nazi operations running here in America? You'd say, well, that's high treason. FDR would be guilty of high treason. And of course, Wall Street was financing Hitler, but that's another story. But it wasn't open Nazis, okay, just doing their thing like we have today. Open communist Chinese here in America operating things, and our president going over, and not our president, the president, he's not my president, going over there, and he's in collusion with communist China, and then they come back here and they panic. We have to defeat communist China by building data mining centers, taking away the rights of the people, destroying them financially and their health and the environment and everything, so we can beat communist China. It's insane. Trump is a traitor. He is guilty of high treason. Get back to that. Point number two. Solution number two, I should say. Americans must demand the removal and destruction of all AI flock cameras. Not just removal. They have to be destroyed. All right? They have to be destroyed. We cannot be... It is illegal. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. We are supposed to be secure from... I can't think of the wording of the Fourth Amendment right now, but you can look it up. Sorry, I don't have it up on screen here or anything. I don't want to take the time to put that up there. But the whole point is we're supposed to be secure in our papers, persons, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. It's an unreasonable search and seizure. Well, not seizure so much, at least not at first, but to have cameras recording us, whatever we're doing. And don't go near Walmarts, by the way. Walmarts have the AI cameras that are now reading emotions and things. Absolutely insane. Very wicked. Point number three. We need to have a solution here. Solution number three. An immediate end to the war spending in Ukraine and Iran, and stop spending money that we don't have. In other words. This has to be done. Because what's happening right now, Donald Trump came in and he said that he's going to stop the war in Ukraine first day in. He didn't do it. I'm going to be the president of peace, no new wars and whatever else, one of his campaign promises. And we're in the war in Iran, and it's costing people terribly. The price of fuel's skyrocketing. Donald Trump is guilty of high treason. He should be given a fair trial, and I believe executed publicly. Quite frankly. King Charles I, it was done there in England back during the English Civil War back in the 17th century, and they executed him publicly beheaded him. Now, whatever you want to make of that. I think fair trial and then execution. Quite frankly, because what he's doing, his criminal behavior, first of all, he did the pandemic thing back in 2020 when he was president the first time, destroying American jobs in the economy over basically the flu. There was no reason to react like that. Well, except for the fact there was a papal interdict, but that's another story. But the whole point is, this guy has been very bad for our country. And it's not Republican, Democrat, liberal versus conservative. It's just common sense. Both sides need to rise up against this man and say, okay, he needs to be removed, guilty of high treason. And all these other billionaires, Larry Fink and all these others, I believe they should also be given fair trials and also tried for high treason and executed as well. Something has to happen. Something has to change. Because otherwise, we're going to have communist China running us before long. They've already taken our industry. They've already taken so many American jobs. They've come here to America. They're buying American farmland. Doesn't this make sense? I showed you the proof. Trump saying how we're going to be working with China, with the AI whole system. Oh, you're radical, you're crazy, you're this, you're that. Well, what can I say? If you don't want to take my advice, if you don't want to listen to what I'm saying, then don't get upset in the future. As a preacher, it is my job to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can see my website over here on this little video thing here. But I preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, but it's also my job to hinder the Antichrist system. He who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 talks about that. I'm trying to hinder the Antichrist system, is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stop people losing their freedom. I want people to be free. I want people to have liberty, regardless of your beliefs or whatever else. I cannot force you, as a Christian preacher, I cannot force you to be saved, to accept Jesus Christ as your Savior. I can't do that. What I have to do is I have to make sure that you have the freedom to make up your own mind. Right? And that these guys are trying to take away your freedom. And they are guilty, by definition, of high treason, giving aid and comfort to the enemies of this nation. That's what they're doing. These billionaires, the Epstein class billionaires, they are guilty of high treason, and they have to be stopped. So that is going to be it. And leave your comments in the comment section below. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. I'm not monetized. I don't make any money from people's views at all. But I understand how the YouTube algorithm stuff works and whatever else. It helps the channel, the videos to get out there more, to get the truth out. And that's all I'm concerned about. So please subscribe, hit the bell notification thing, whatever else. I don't really say that often, but that'd be great if you would do that. So that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching.